Fei, the co-founder of Blink.io. Please welcome.
What's going on, everybody? After lunch, who's awake? Anyone got some energy for me? Anybody?
Oh yeah.
No? Oh yeah? There we go. Good. So, the Internet of Things. It's a big topic. I need to ask. Don't worry, I'm not going to call you out. Took me years to understand this. Raise your hands. Who feels like they have a pretty good grasp on what IoT means? Raise your hands. That's it? 2? Good thing I didn't go super deep on this topic. Good, okay, I'm sure just 2 of you. One more time. Anyone heard of IoT before? Okay, cool, thank you. So, I want to talk about this at a bit of a high level and make sure that you guys understand where the future of this is going, why it matters, and also what you can do to participate in this. Because a lot of you have a lot to gain, and some of you maybe have something to lose. So let's learn together, shall we? So who the hell am I? Everyone calls me Beta Babe, because I like to play with things. I'm always in beta, trying new things. I have a couple of things that you probably want to wonder, any speaker you talk to, why am I up here talking to you about this? So, a couple of background points. I lived in the Valley for 10 years. I worked at Apple for 6 years. My new company that I built in Asia, I've been here for 3.5 years, so I'm gonna talk about Brink later. I'm one of the KOLs or influencers for Huawei. I'm also a writer for Forbes, et cetera. I currently have 32 equity positions in a variety of IoT and SaaS companies. I live and eat and breathe this stuff every single day. I'm super excited about where we're going because we're connecting the physical world, and I wanna talk about that today, but I do know some things, I don't know everything, so I'm gonna ask about you after I talked about Brink, because I wanna know who you are too. I'm gonna tailor this to you guys. So Brink, for my own customer development, like I teach all my teams, raise your hands. Before you guys heard of this talk, who had heard of Brink? Wow, lots of work to do in Thailand, okay. Gotta talk to my marketing team, fair enough, good to know. I should have brought more t-shirts. Okay, so let me just tell you about us. That's one of our Hong Kong offices, our smiling faces. We've been around for 3.5 years. We have multiple parts of our business. One of our big parts that most people know us about is our IoT accelerator programs. So we've invested in 20 companies around the world. We'll end the year with about 30. Over half our investments are in health technologies, not by design, just because it turned out that way. One of our other real big verticals are drone technologies. Anyone into drones? Raise your hands. Sick. We got drone applications coming up in 2 weeks, so apply. I'd be interested to talk to you guys. We also have offices in 5 cities around the world, Hong Kong and Guangzhou, China, on both sides of the world's largest supply chain for manufacturing. We have Barcelona, London, and now Bahrain in the Middle East. We have some new offices opening before the end of the year, so stay tuned. That's what we do on the accelerator side. In China, we actually make shit. This is critical. Because most of the accelerator programs and investors that you work with, you've heard about, they're great at investing money. They're great at giving you advice. They don't make anything. We manufacture and make and ship products every single day. From basic plastic toys all the way up to nanotechnology. That's critical because we are in the trenches every single day with our founders. We understand how hard it is to build IoT companies. The last thing is enter China. This is a community we recently acquired with 300 hardware founders around the world. And this is an online community where you can learn the basics if you're interested in going into the physical world. Because the physical world is not the software world. It's really different. And before you start, this is a really great way to learn. So feel free to grab me after. I'm going to be on the Q&A stage at 2:30, just down the hall. So if you have more questions, we can dive into it for 30, 40 minutes, no problem. Cool. That's us. Now I need to know who you are. Raise your hands. You guys ready to work? Do a little workout here? Okay, raise your hands if you're a startup. All right, down.
Can we sit here?
Who's an investor? Couple, down. Corporate. Oh man, people paying the bills. All right, so how about in those corporates, intrapreneurs, people that own a business unit or are actually able to be flexible, creative, innovative in their corporate. Raise those hands. Awesome, this is great talk for you. Last one, governments. Anyone from the government? Was that one? Government? I've been looking for government contacts in Thailand, so let me know afterwards. So, awesome. Okay, cool. So I want to start with something that we talk about every single day in our business. This is why we exist. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a software smackdown for a second. AI, machine learning, big data, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? You can't do any of that without hardware, without sensors, without IoT, you have no data. You have to start here first. This is how we look at the world. We need to unlock the world's data, and then we can improve our lives. It is going to be a generational transition to connect the physical world. This is a long-term play. We need to understand all the information that's locked up in every single part of our world. These lights, the floor, the chairs you're sitting in, the dirt there, where the trees grows, the waterway, the air, everything, because then we can make sense of it. You can't skip that part. I know AI and big data and machine learning is all really cool. You have to do that too. But you need companies like all you guys that raise your hands that are interested in hardware. We need people like you unlocking this data. This is our motto at Brink. Now, I want to give you something new. The IoT value equation. This is different. I know a lot of you have heard of Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all these crowdfunding campaigns, and we're making connected toasters and connected like bathroom mats and connected beer koozies or whatever the hell you're doing. Cool, do that, fine. We're gonna connect everything, I get it. But there's a different way to look at this. I'm gonna walk you through this because this is our why. This is why IoT is so valuable. And I want to give this equation to you so whether it's all the corporates or the startups or the investors or the governments, you guys can think, how can you make value sense of IoT? All right, let's do this. Start with this basic high-level question. There are X people who deal with a problem daily, and there's a loss of Y as a result on a daily basis. Cool? Basic. You can obviously change daily for monthly or yearly, whatever you want. So then the next step is very simple. That means it's an X times Y dollar problem, and we have a chance to create a solution that will save money, lives, time. You can then multiply that out. This is value, not units sold, not top line revenue, not VC dollars, just for fun. I love this. I lived in the Valley for 10 years. Raise your hands. Who thinks Silicon Valley is really cool? Ooh, that's interesting. I thought it'd be everyone. Okay, so I will tell you, I was gonna hit the smackdown right then. So I will tell you, having lived there for 10 years, it's aight. It's okay. It's not that great. Don't try to be Silicon Valley. That's the wrong mentality. You can build something cool here, and I think that this equation has massive, massive applicability and impact in Thailand. So let's walk through a couple examples. True, exactly, Thailand, that's right. Okay, let's go through autonomous driving. Everyone's heard of this. So let's go through how this works. I'm gonna use China because we're in China, and the scale is pretty nuts, as you guys know. Let's walk through this piece by piece. 500 people die every day in China because of human error on roads. That's a fact. I just made this random number up. That's 3 million renminbi, random figure, right? Let's say $500,000. Just a random person. What's the value of someone's life? The output that they make for the economy, GDP, that kind of stuff. Completely random. Make up your own number, right? Every day, 500 people die in China in car accidents. So let's play that out to the next level. This means 500 times 365 times 3. And over 3 years, the fiscal loss is a big deal, right? Maybe the government, people, and the corporates have to think like this, but that's humans. That's psychological problems. The people impact of this is massive. But if you just want to be economical about it, let's look at the final bottom line of this. If you want to create a solution over the next 3 years to solve that, autonomous driving, that's $270 billion you can save a country. Obviously, that's a lot of human lives too. It's important to think in value when you look at IoT, because you're unlocking capability, possibilities, by connecting everything. We can understand everything, we can solve everything for the first time ever. It's profound. It's not about widgets. I'm gonna give you another example from our particular portfolio, palm oil. Anyone know about palm oil, just for fun? Palm oil, obviously #1 crop for oil crop in the world, is absolutely devastating from an environmental perspective. But it's everywhere, and it's not going anywhere. It's actually getting much, much bigger. So we invested in a drone company that helps this. Every year, palm oil plantations are losing 15% of their crops to disease and workforce mismanagement. Where do they put the fertilizer? Where do they water? What kind of bacteria is killing our crops? And because it's the #1 oil for all food in Malaysia alone, which is where we're starting, we're partnered with Google and the government in Malaysia to fix this problem. It's a $15 billion business annually last year. So a little over $2.25 billion is lost in Malaysia every year because of the crops that are failing for palm oil. So that's just one country, one crop. Let's play that out. The next level is forecasts for palm oil are going to double by 2020 and triple by 2050. Here's the problem. Over the next 3 years, it's a 2 years, $4.5 billion loss by 2020. More importantly, this leads to deforestation and species extinction. So because of what we are eating as humans, and we are voracious, we can't eat enough, we can't get enough of this stuff. We are losing our forests and killing the environment. So what can we do about that? We fly these drones over the palm oil plantations in Malaysia and try to save them money, $7 billion in the next 3 years, because we can curb that 15% deficiency in the crops and the workforce utilization. We can tell them where to put the fertilizer. We can tell them the bacteria that's caught on early so we can capture it and try to solve it, where to water on time. That's one crop in one country. Just think about this for a second. I want you guys to understand this value conversation. Cool?
Cool.
Awesome. I'm not going to get into more. They have shrimp farming, you name it. I've got example after example. So now we have a high level. The question is, what's your role? You have to be a little conscious, guys. We have to think a little bit further, and I'm going to talk shit about the valley some more. You have to think a little bit further about delivering your beer to your front door in 15 minutes, or someone cleaning my laundry for me because I don't have time. Cool, make those companies. But for those of you that want to work on these bigger problems, we need people that are going to help unlock the world's data so we can improve everything. We can solve everything. So here's the roles piece by piece. Startups, raise your hands again. Up. Government, look around. Look around. Okay, raise your hand. One hand. Startups, hands again. Hands up, startups, cool. Now corporates, come on, keep them up, guys. Give me a second, come on. Hands up, okay. Corporates, look at the startups. Cool. Let's talk about the roles. Startups, if you are not adding, don't say you have to, but if you think that having a piece of hardware, or some sensor, or some aspect in the physical world, you can create new value for the world that was never there before. And it doesn't have to be a unicorn. I don't want to say fuck unicorns, but I kind of think that. So like, it's one of those things you really need to create something that's local. Solve a problem in Thailand. Solve a problem that an SME has or a corporate has. It does not have to be a $100 million company. You can create real value as a startup, going to a makerspace, learning a little bit about Arduino. This stuff is not complicated, even I can figure it out. It is not hard. And you can unlock information about something in your environment. That information will allow you to think and hopefully solve a problem that maybe an SME or the government or a corporation might have. Guess what? You've now created value. You don't need to go raise $10 million. You don't need to go online and create these massive Kickstarter campaigns. You don't need to growth hack your way through customer acquisition and social media marketing and blah, blah, blah. No. You can just look at something you're passionate about or find a problem that exists in your local community or your region, in your country, and go get some data out of that area and try to figure it out. It's not super, super hard. So all those corporates, look at those startups because they're going to be the people helping you. Corporations, my favorite. So this is critical. Corporations, the reason you're so valuable in this particular world with IoT is you own distribution. You have all the customers. You have all the pipelines, the logistics, taxation, import-export, the relationship, the billing, all that stuff. You have all the stuff startups don't have the money, time, or ability to solve. So you need to partner with the people that raise their hand that are interested. And you don't have to create these corporate innovation, like innovation theater, like startup accelerators, it's all PR and demo day BS. You don't have to do that. You can just talk to someone. Here's a problem I have. If you have a solution, I'd love to hear from you. Pretty straightforward. Now on the other side, let's just talk about the competitive landscape that all of you corporates are in. I know that everyone thought the internet was this big deal over the last 20-ish years. Really, really big, right? IoT is going to make the disruption that we all have felt, all corporates know what I'm talking about. You've seen startups eat at your meal every night, right? Just picking away at your business model. If you think that the internet made it hard to stay competitive, IoT is going to make that look like a joke. If you do not connect every single part of your business, your competitors will. You need to unlock the data in your company. The people data, give them Fitbits, give them Misfits, give them something so you unlock the health data, help them with their insurance plans. Help connect the logistics, help understand the environment when they come to the office every day. What's the oxygen level? What's the CO2 level, the PM 2.5 level? What's in the water? What's the utilization of my space, my taxations, God, everything, insurance. Think about all the things as a corporation you can learn by putting these little sensors in. We do it every day with corporates. It's unbelievable. And trust me, your competitors will do it if you don't. And once someone has the data, they will win. So please take that to heart. Partner with all those startups, talk to them afterwards, because you can do this now. It's not some massive plan. Governments, talking to one person. How's it going? I hope she's like not even from the government. I'm just talking about this all the time. So the government part is critical. The government believes, because I saw the massive announcement of all the money they put aside for you guys. I saw that big fund. So if you're not in the government, or if I'm talking to the cameras and I can talk to the government, I'm trying to give you one tip. Make sure to set aside some of this money for IoT and hardware companies. And even better yet, not just chasing the valley. Who here is an SME or a small to medium business? Anyone? Invest in them. They have ways they can become more efficient, hire more people, add more value to the economy by doing things with IoT. It's not just corporate, it's not just moonshots with startups and VCs. SMEs are a great place to invest money. It's a massively smart way to make your money talk, to help build in your local economy. And feel free to talk to me because I want to hear about this. Hurts a lot of money. All right, investors, last one. Investors, raise your hands again. I want to see them. Just so I can point you guys out. Only one of you? Come on, not true. Any other investors? Well, I know you, so I can't talk smack to you. So, investors, really easy. Make sure to learn about this. This is my favorite. Cell phones. Apple and the iPhone have created the most valuable company in history. IoT will make the iPhone look minuscule, like absolutely nothing. The amount of money and value that will come out of IoT will trump by 100,000-fold what mobile phones look like. This is everything. And if you're investing money, you need to learn. You cannot afford to miss this. You have to learn. The easiest thing is start investing, small amounts. Give the guys who raise their hands 10,000 bucks, 5,000 bucks. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but by investing, you're learning. So what now? I gave you some tips based on who you are, what you're doing. Hopefully some of you will transition roles. There's corporate people, hope you become startup people. The government person, hope you invest in startups, maybe become a founder yourself. But I think that there's so many things you can do in Thailand. I am psyched because I came here 3 years ago, and I was so impressed by the software scene. 3 years ago. I was really impressed with the companies I saw. I'd never been here. I'm back, and tonight I'm having a hardware meetup, 5 to 7 at the Hubble location, a half mile away if you guys want to come, because I'm interested in what happened to the hardware scene, because it wasn't really here 3 years ago. You guys can't afford to miss this. You can make huge impact in Thailand, make monetary value, employ people, unlock data, improve anything you want to. You don't need to wait for everyone else. You do not need to care about, no offense to the early talk, what Amazon's doing. You don't give a shit what the Valley's doing. You can do it here. You can participate locally and have real impact if you get involved in this. Go back to that unlocking data to improve our lives and then the IoT value equation. Think through that. So I'm asking you to get in touch with me. I do everything in my power to try to answer questions. This is my favorite thing. That's why I'm going to the Q&A stage at 2:30. I will respond to every single question that you hit with me online because I want people to understand this. I know that this is going to change the way we live as humans. We are going to solve the world's most complicated problems because of this. But I know you have questions, so please let me know so I can try to help you out. And our company, if you're interested, 2 things. If you're not ready for the drone accelerator, everyone that raised their hand, the drone accelerator, awesome. Please talk to me or come apply. But if you're just getting started, look at enterchina.co. The reason I say that is that's another massive community of 300 founders learning about the physical world right now. Becoming independent by being profitable, by making money. They help each other via WeChat and Facebook and online and offline meetups. It's one of the most proud things I've done in our company is going through the acquisition of that business. So please join. Also, for fun, who's been to China? Raise your hands. Okay, cool. Everyone that didn't raise your hand, we do trips to China every 6 or 8 weeks. Please jump on our website, just brink.io/community. We try our best to help people take their first trips to China in an easy, nice way, because we know it's complicated. But if you're doing physical things, you need to take your first trip to China. You need to learn, okay? So this is the future we want, something that's bright, people living happy, healthier lives. That's where I live in Hong Kong. Please let me know how I can help, how my company can help, and thank you guys for having me. This is going to be an amazing, amazing future, but we do have to build this together. IoT is important, and I hope you guys are psyched up about it now and will participate in the future. Grab me after at 2:30 at the Q&A stage. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.